Rain poured like shattered glass against the city streets the night everything changed. Under the glowing lights of expensive skyscrapers, luxury cars passed by without slowing down, their drivers unaware of the quiet battles being fought on the sidewalks below. That was when Adrian Cole, one of the city's youngest millionaire CEOs, saw something that made him slam on his brakes. Standing beneath a broken street lamp, soaked to the bone and shivering in the cold, was Maria, the cleaning lady from his office. But she wasn't heading home after her exhausting shift. Instead, she was holding a small plastic box filled with candy, gently offering sweets to strangers rushing past her. Her tired hands trembled from exhaustion, yet her face carried a fragile smile. Adrian stared in disbelief. The woman who spent every night cleaning the marble floors of his company was standing in the rain, selling candy just to survive. Before we continue, if you believe kindness still exists in this world and that everyone deserves a second chance, please take a moment to like this video, comment where you're watching from, share this story with someone who needs hope, and subscribe to the channel for more emotional stories that touch the heart. Adrian had seen Maria almost every day for 2 years, though "seen" might not be the right word. Like many wealthy executives, he had become skilled at looking through people rather than at them. She was simply part of the background, someone who emptied trash bins, wiped fingerprints off glass walls, and made sure the office sparkled before sunrise. She was always quiet, respectful, and invisible in the way society often forces hard-working people to become. But tonight changed everything. As rain streamed down his windshield, Adrian watched person after person ignore Maria. Some waved her away. Some pretended not to see her. One man even brushed past her so roughly that the candy box nearly slipped from her hands. Yet she remained standing there, shoulders shaking from cold and exhaustion. Adrian felt something uncomfortable twist inside his chest. He parked across the street and kept watching. Maria sold one candy bar. Then another. Then for almost 15 minutes, nothing. She looked exhausted beyond words. Her uniform from the office was still on, slightly wrinkled and damp. Her shoes looked worn out, the soles nearly separating from the leather. Adrian checked the time. It was almost 10 p.m. She had started cleaning at 5 p.m. That meant she had already worked 5 hours, and now she was doing more. Why? That single question refused to leave his mind. The next morning, Adrian arrived at the office earlier than usual. Maria was finishing her shift, pushing a cleaning cart down the hallway. For the first time, he truly looked at her. The dark circles under her eyes. The stiffness in her movement. The hidden pain behind a polite smile. He suddenly felt ashamed. He had built a multi-million-dollar company from nothing and loved telling people he understood hard work. But had he really? Had he ever worked so hard that sleep became a luxury? Had he ever chosen between food and rent? No. Maria had. That evening, curiosity became concern. Concern became action. Instead of heading home, Adrian followed Maria again after work. She walked to the same corner. Same broken lamp. Same plastic candy box. This time, he got out of his car. Maria looked startled when she recognized him approaching. Adrian noticed something else now, embarrassment. Her shoulders tensed. Her eyes lowered. She looked ashamed to be seen. That broke him. Because no one should feel ashamed for trying to survive. Adrian gently asked why she was doing this. At first, Maria said nothing. Then the truth came out slowly, painfully, like reopening a wound that never healed. Maria was a widow. 3 years earlier, her husband Daniel had died from a sudden heart attack while driving home from work. One moment she had a partner. The next, she had hospital bills, funeral costs, and 2 children depending entirely on her. Her son, Matteo, was 12 and brilliant at math. Her daughter, Sophia, was 8 and dreamed of becoming a doctor because she wanted to fix people so no one has to die early. But dreams cost money. Rent kept increasing. Food became more expensive. School fees piled up. Then came the worst news of all. Matteo had developed a serious eye condition requiring surgery. Without treatment, doctors warned his vision could permanently worsen. The surgery cost more money than Maria could imagine. So she cleaned offices by evening. Sold candy by night. Slept a few hours. Repeated everything again. Every day. Adrian stood frozen. He had spent more on a single business dinner than Maria earned in months. And yet she never begged. Never complained. Never asked for pity. She simply worked. And worked. And worked. That night, Adrian returned home but could not sleep. He sat in his penthouse staring at the city lights below. For years, he had measured success through numbers, profits, investments, acquisitions. Bigger offices. Bigger deals. Bigger status. But Maria had something he lacked. Purpose beyond herself. She was fighting not for luxury. Not for ambition. But for love. And somehow, that made her stronger than most people Adrian knew. The next day, Adrian called his finance team. He asked for Maria's employment records. His jaw tightened when he saw her salary. She was underpaid. Painfully underpaid. How had he never noticed? Because success had blinded him. Adrian cancelled all meetings that afternoon and drove somewhere unexpected. Maria's neighborhood. The roads changed quickly from polished downtown avenues to cracked sidewalks and fading buildings. Trash bins overflowed. Paint peeled from walls. Children played in narrow alleys because they had nowhere else to go. Maria lived on the 4th floor of an old apartment building with broken railings. Adrian climbed the stairs. When Maria opened the door, shock covered her face. Inside, the apartment was tiny but spotless. The furniture was old. The walls were worn. But everything was clean, organized, and filled with love. He noticed drawings taped to the wall. School certificates. A handwritten schedule. And in the corner, a boy reading while squinting painfully. Matteo. Beside him sat Sophia, carefully bandaging a teddy bear with toy medical supplies. Adrian's heart tightened. These children weren't asking for miracles. They were simply trying to keep hope alive. That night, Adrian made a decision. The following morning, he asked Maria to come to his office. She entered nervously, clearly expecting bad news. Maybe she thought she was being fired. Maybe she feared he disapproved of her side job. Her hands trembled. Adrian told her to sit. Then he said something that left her speechless. He offered to pay for Matteo's surgery. Completely. Every expense. Hospital. Medication. Recovery. Everything. Maria froze. Tears filled her eyes instantly. But before gratitude came something else. Pride. She shook her head. No. She couldn't accept charity. She had spent her life surviving with dignity. Adrian expected that. So he made an unexpected offer. Not charity. Opportunity. He told Maria he wasn't offering pity. He was offering partnership. Over the past few days, he had observed something extraordinary about her. Discipline. Integrity. Attention to detail. Resilience. The same qualities he searched for in executives. He told her his company needed someone to oversee operations for building maintenance and employee support, a role involving scheduling, supervision, logistics, and quality control. He wanted her to train for that role. Higher salary. Benefits. Healthcare. education support for her children, flexible hours. And the surgery would be an advance on her new compensation package. Not a gift. An investment. In her. Maria broke down. Not because of money. Because for the first time in years, someone saw more than a cleaning uniform. Someone saw capability. Worth. Potential. She cried silently, overwhelmed by the weight of being truly seen. Weeks later, Matteo's surgery happened. The operation was successful. Doctors smiled. His vision improved. Maria cried in the hospital hallway as relief washed over her like sunlight after endless storms. For the first time in years, she felt she could breathe. But transformation didn't end there. Adrian personally arranged leadership training for Maria. At first, many employees were skeptical. A cleaning lady in management? Whispers spread. Judgment followed. Some executives hid their disapproval behind polite smiles. Adrian noticed. Maria noticed too. The old shame threatened to return. But Adrian refused to let that happen. He reminded everyone that titles don't define intelligence. Background doesn't define capability. Character does. Maria worked harder than anyone. She studied spreadsheets after putting her children to bed. Learned software she had never touched before. Practiced reports until midnight. Made mistakes. Improved. Learned again. Slowly, skepticism turned into respect. Then admiration. Because Maria had something many managers lacked. She understood every worker. She knew the cleaner's struggles. The security guard's long nights. The cafeteria staff's exhaustion. She listened. And because she listened, she transformed the workplace. Staff turnover dropped. Morale improved. Productivity increased. People felt human again. Adrian watched it all unfold with quiet amazement. He had thought he rescued Maria. But the truth was different. Maria helped rescue something inside him. His humanity. Months passed. Then came the company's annual gala. Hundreds attended. Investors. Executives. Media. Luxury filled every corner. Spotlights illuminated success. Adrian stepped onto the stage for his speech. Everyone expected numbers. Growth metrics. Expansion plans. Instead, he told a story. He spoke about blindness. Not physical blindness. The kind wealth creates. The kind status creates. The kind busyness creates. He admitted something no billionaire usually admits. He had failed. Not in business. In seeing people. He said the strongest leader in the company wasn't the CEO. It wasn't the board. It was someone who cleaned floors by evening and sold candy by night to save her son's vision. Gasps filled the ballroom. Tears appeared. Adrian called Maria to the stage. She walked slowly, trembling. The crowd stood. Then applause exploded. Not polite applause. Real applause. Long. Emotional. Powerful. Many cried openly. Maria stood under golden lights, overwhelmed. A woman once invisible now stood center stage. Seen. Honored. Celebrated. Adrian then made one final announcement. The company was launching a foundation dedicated to supporting struggling single parents with emergency healthcare and education assistance. The foundation would be named after Maria. She covered her mouth, unable to breathe through the emotion. Her legs nearly gave out. The audience rose again. Applause thundered louder. At that moment, Maria looked toward the back of the room. Matteo stood there, glasses on, vision restored. Beside him, Sophia smiled proudly. They ran to her. The three embraced. No words could capture that moment. A mother who had carried unbearable weight. A son who could see clearly again. A daughter whose dream of healing others burned brighter than ever. And a future no longer ruled by fear. If this story is touching your heart right now, please pause for 1 second and comment this special line below: kindness can change a life. We'd love to see how many people still believe in compassion. Years later, people still talked about Maria's story. Not because a millionaire gave money, but because someone finally chose to look deeper. Sometimes miracles don't arrive as sudden magic. Sometimes they begin with simply noticing someone everyone else ignores. A tired mother. A silent worker. A person standing in the rain selling candy. The world often teaches us to admire those at the top. But life repeatedly proves something beautiful. Strength is often found at the bottom. In the people carrying burdens no one sees. In parents sacrificing sleep. In workers hiding pain behind smiles. In ordinary people doing extraordinary things for love. Adrian learned wealth isn't measured by what you own. It's measured by what you lift. And Maria learned that accepting help isn't weakness when that help honors your dignity. One rainy evening, nearly 2 years later, Maria walked past that same broken street lamp. She stopped. Looked at the sidewalk. And smiled through tears. That corner once represented desperation. Now it represented survival. Proof that the darkest nights do not last forever. Sometimes all it takes is one person willing to see you. One person willing to believe in you. One unexpected offer. One act of compassion. And an entire life can change. Before this story ends, if it moved you even a little, please like this video, share it with someone you love, comment your thoughts below, and subscribe to the channel. Your support helps us continue sharing stories that inspire hearts around the world. Because somewhere tonight, someone is still standing in the rain, tired, unseen, and fighting ill.